talented riders, fast riders, burning passion, desire to win, but few have that, plus alpha, that extra touch. And I think that's what you're really looking for. And
that is Lynn Jarvis. He's the boss of the Yamaha MotoGP team, which means he's in charge of some of the most talented and driven people, not just in the MotoGP community, but beyond that as well.
And that was him talking to us last year on the MotoGP podcast, Last on the Brakes, about how Yamaha, one of the most successful manufacturers ever, chooses their riders.
And that's why we thought that soundbite pretty much sums up what this brand new show is all about, getting the inside line on what makes the people in MotoGP the best in the world at what they do. So we called it, Last on the Brakes, the Inside Line.
So in the 2020 season of the show, we interviewed a whole load of people from the MotoGP community.
From MotoGP legends,
to F1 superfans and winners,
to Supercross legends,
and comedians,
and also the riders themselves.
Of course.
And if you haven't already downloaded and listened to the podcast, there should be a link to the playlist around about here or here, somewhere for you to go and click and listen.
Or just download it, of course, on your podcast platform of choice. So on this first episode of the show, we're going to be discussing a topic that came up pretty frequently last year with the MotoGP riders, and that is rider support systems and their inner circles.
How important is that support system around you? Your circle seems really small. Who is your personal circle that helps you stay on the right tracks?
These are the people who lift you up when you're down, who keep you on the right track, and of course, keep you true to who you are.
They keep you grounded and generally help you be the best versions of yourself that you can be.
And in elite sport and MotoGP terms, of course, they help you win races or championships.
So we started asking riders about this and just thinking about it in general, because we noticed there's such a huge variety of these support systems in the paddock, and all these people around the riders helping them to be, as fast as they can be.
Yeah, exactly. So one good example would be Andrea Dovizioso. He talked to us about his big group of family and friends that he has back home, keeping him pretty grounded, and about as well his love of motocross.
We also talked with Quartararo about his close friend Tom, who basically goes with him everywhere.
And just last week, Luca Marini told us that it's his girlfriend who's sometimes the one that tells him, maybe that wasn't quite your best.
I had my back to him, so I didn't quite get the death stare she must have given him at that point while she was actually watching the podcast.
Who pushed me more for be a better rider and faster is my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Yeah. She's never happy. Too much.
Right.
She destroyed me when I did fourth.
Hey, and when we spoke to Chad Reed, he actually suggested the whole reason why Rossi created the Academy was almost as a tool, or you could say his own brand new support system to make him faster.
But as we found out as well, there are a few riders who still kind of go it alone with a more lone wolf approach, like Maverick Vinales.
I'm that kind of person that is difficult to help because I close a lot to myself, and it's difficult that I open my feelings to someone.
But in 2021, as we'll talk about in the key takeaways at the end, Maverick's also now got his own little support system with a family about to get bigger and thanking them in Parc Fermé after his first win of the year.
So a huge part of a fully functioning support system is how well your inner circle keeps you grounded. And we spoke to two riders specifically about this to see who the different people in their lives were that kept them grounded. And those were Fabio Quartararo and Luca Marini.
The most important is to always keep the feet on the ground. That many people told me that, and the first of all is my family. My dad teach me a lot when I was from 3, when I was starting racing, and from this moment he said keep the feet on the ground. And I think that was the most important advice that I had, because it's important to always be in your place and not with the feet flying. So
about to be humble and with the foot on the ground, I think our physical trainer.
All right.
Very clear on this point, also with the other guy. But in general, it's something that you have inside. You have a very good ambient, a very good atmosphere when we train, when we travel, when also we are here in the paddock, because I like my crew also in the team. When I was before, in the past years, there was a very good atmosphere, and also this helps you to stay in the correct direction.
It's not all as simple as just reminding you to keep your manners, maybe not to get too ahead of yourself, get a reminder that you're not Tom Cruise. It's also about the people and the mood around a rider. So one of the people we spoke to about that was Andrea Dovizioso, and he talked about how things can go pretty wrong when you get that wrong crowd, maybe not giving you the right advice.
Yes, man.
If you are open to listen, make a big difference. I don't like when I see the riders, and I don't think that work most of the time, when the riders is on top of everybody. The people around the riders have to be on the same level or sometimes on top of the riders. Because when the riders want to take all the decision and want to manage all the people, it's impossible to take always the right decision and to be smart enough to understand everything you have to do.
It sounds, in English, I think, the people you described are called yes men. Did you ever have that in your career?
It's normal. Yeah. When you become famous, it's so easy to find a yes man. And it's always nice to hear yes man, but doesn't work most of the time. So it's nice, and it's a difficult part for us to understand who is real or not. But it's normally like every famous person, but on long term doesn't work.
Well, that was really interesting, and I'm not surprised in the slightest that came from one of the most experienced guys on the grid.
Yeah, most definitely. Andrea Dovizioso, not really known for his Instagram posing, more of a kind of barbecue, chill, behind-the-scenes vibe with him.
Loves a hashtag, though.
Does love a hashtag, don't we all?
Much like, well, the most experienced guy on the grid now. We spoke to Chad Reed last year, although it was via Skype, not actually in
Okay, that made it sound like Chad Reed is now in our...
Chad Reed has not moved to MotoGP since Supercross, but last year we did speak to Chad Reed, and obviously the topic about Valentino Rossi came up. And Chad suggested, as we mentioned before, that his support system could be the strongest of all, creating the academy.
He has created an outlet to keep it fresh and fun for him, but yet giving back. I can probably tell you that he's probably using it more as a tool to him and bringing all these young people in to, to rejuvenate him and to learn new skills off of the kids. And I think that in a weird way, I probably see that he's using it as a tool for him than what he even thinks about giving it back. At this point, maybe he goes, oh yeah, I'm giving back, but it was really just, you used everything as a tool. There's days where you just don't feel like doing it, but when you've got, 3, 4, 10 other kids there that are like just bouncing off the walls and they're exciting, suddenly you don't think about it and you just do. And suddenly this work that was once upon a time work, now it just becomes a little bit more natural, a little bit more easy to do, a little bit more fun to do.
And Chad even suggested that it might be one of the key reasons how Valentino's had such incredible longevity and kept racing.
Bringing on the next generation, expanding his own inner circle, strengthening that support system to go faster than ever.
Yep, and with 4 VR46 Academy riders on the grid, seems like a win-win situation for everyone.
And now for our key takeaways.
Key takeaways. Little disclaimer, of course, we've not mentioned every single type of support system or inner circle in this, but there's plenty to go at in the MotoGP paddock. If there's anyone that you've not heard from yet that you really want to know what makes them tick and what it's like behind the scenes, let us know in a comment below.
Please don't scream at us for forgetting anybody. Just put the suggestion
exactly.
down below.
We love all our guests past and present, and future ones you can have a say in, so please let us know.
So to sum up support systems, they're the network of people you keep around you to help you be the best version of you that you can be. In the MotoGP paddock, they come in all forms and sizes, from family units to childhood friends, other halves, managers, and well, even an entire legacy project such as the VR46 Riders Academy.
And I think we could certainly, both of us, agree with Andrea Dovizioso that it can be important to have that kind of group mentality where the rider's not the king of the castle in all situations.
And say no to yes men. That is the main
Say no to yes men, official advice.
And lastly, well, it's the Thursday of the Doha GP, a few days after the Qatar GP, and I think we got some pretty good evidence there that even lone wolves sometimes need a family unit. Maverick Vinales taking that win, thanking them for it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? He's got married in off-season, got a baby on the way now, him and his new wife, and very thankful for them in Parc Fermé.
My really close family that now, like my wife, we are waiting a baby.
So I really think it goes to show that this part of racing isn't to be underestimated. There's the team of people who prepares the bikes and help them to go out on track, and then there's everybody else behind the scenes that prepares the rider to, well, first travel to the races and actually do what they do best.
So let us know in the comments below your thoughts on this topic, as well as, of course, letting us know who you want to hear from in future on Last on the Brakes.
Subscribe to the podcast.
That was going to be what I was going to say. Subscribe as well on your podcast platform of choice. Thanks for joining us, and see you next time.